Hello students, so I hope all of you will be fine. This is the final lecture of this series in which we have discussed all the basic stuff which are related to the computer programming, how to build the conventional program building mindset, and after we have seen the Python syntax and diving into the details of the Python data structures and so on. Okay, so that is the final lecture in which we will summarize all the things which we have studied in this course. So we have started it from the very basic part. So basic programming. Okay, so basic programming stuff was discussed, in which the first thing here was the development of the procedures. Okay, and then after the procedures we have seen that what is the algorithms. Okay, and we have then discussed different methods of writing the algorithm, and one of that was the pseudocode, and the second was the flowchart. Okay, so we have discussed this basic programming, and in all of this we have studied that how to write a very simple program and what is the basic logic in building the computer program by using the procedural language. Okay, so in all of these stuffs we did not touch any syntax, and we have covered all the stuffs in plain language statements. So that is all about the basic programming. So after this basic programming stuff we went towards, okay, so that was the first thing. So we then went towards the Python language. So in Python, first of all, I have discussed a very basic program, and that is the printing by using the print method. Okay, so by writing all this stuff and printing it, I have used this command. After it we went towards the conditional statements. Okay, so in conditional statements what did we discuss? So we discussed the if statement. Okay, if else. Okay, let me move down. And after if else, if elif. Okay, the statement, these were the statements we have covered in this course. And similarly after it we went towards the iterations or repetitive statements, and that we called as the loop statements. Okay, so in loops what we discussed, the first thing we discussed was a very famous loop, and that is the while loop, and which is basically loop statement which follows some condition. Okay, and after it we also learned the basics about the for loop, which is just the iterative loop which runs across different items by using the range function here. Okay, so we have used these in our Python course, which were basically consist of the print, condition and loops. Okay, similarly we have learned about the data types. Okay, so what are the basic data types in Python? So the first was basically the integer, and in order to convert any other data type into integer, we have used the int command. Okay, similarly, float was also used here, float data types, and float function was used for the purpose. After it, we have discussed the string data type, and again str here, and after it the bool data type, which just tell us the true or false statements. Okay, so in this we have discussed all these statements which are called the basic statements or the basic things in Python programming. After it, what did we study? We went towards the data structures. Okay, so we went toward the data structures, and in data structures there are basically two types. The first one is the built-in data structures, and the other one was the user defined. Okay, so in order to learn the data structures and all this stuff, we also talked about another very important thing here, and that is the Python functions. Okay, so in Python functions, what did we study? We studied all the basics about the user defined functions, some built-in functions. Okay, and after it we talked about the lambda functions. Okay, so these are some of the stuffs which we covered in the Python functions. So when we went towards the built-in data structures, in built-in data structures we had some data structures, and inside these data structures we had, the first one was the list. Okay, so in list we have discussed many items and many things like different functions which were related to lists. So that were list functions. Okay, and after it the list comprehensions as well. Okay, so these are the things which we have discussed in the list section. After it, we started another very important data structure, and that is the dictionary. Okay, so in dictionary, what did we discuss? We discussed that what are the keys, what are the values, okay, and how to convert a list into the dictionary. Okay, and what are the basic functions in the dictionary. Okay, so we have discussed all this stuff in the dictionaries, and we have also discussed another very important data structure, and that is the string data structure. And in string data structure we have discussed that how to convert something into strings. Okay, and different string functions like split, strip, length, and so on. Okay, these were some of the functions which we have discussed in the string. After it, we had to discuss another very important topic, and that is related to the tuple. Okay, we didn't discuss in this course, but tuples are just like lists. Okay, but there are some differences. What are those differences? They use these brackets instead of these square brackets. Okay, these are not used in the tuples, and similarly tuples are basically the immutable data types, okay, or data structures, in which the object once created and the length is once defined, it cannot be changed. Okay, so that is all about the tuple, and that is all what we have discussed in our course, and this is all about the built-in data structures. After it, we didn't discuss the user defined function, and in our next series we will talk about it. So what are basically the user defined data types? So these are basically the queues, queue, stack, okay, similarly trees, and the last one and the very important one are the graphs. These are also the very important data structures which are used for the variety of stuffs like the problem solving. Okay, so these are very important for the computations or the computer science students, and for many other students which want to deploy the computer or the computational methods for solving different problems. Okay, so that is all about the things which we have discussed in this course, and you can see that these are the things which are mostly used in many courses. Okay, so in this basic stuff we have seen the uses of procedures, algorithms, and the main concern here was the development of the programming mindset. Okay, so I don't know how much you guys are relaxed with all these things, but the basic stuff here was the introduction to the basic Python structure. Okay, so after it, what is the next step? In next step, our lists can be, instead of lists, we can also use the NumPy arrays. Okay, so NumPy is also one of the very important library in Python, which basically converts the different data structure into the arrays. So what are the inherent benefits of the NumPy arrays? So these are basically very fast. Okay, these has a very, this basically consumes very low storage. Okay, and has many functionalities. Okay, which basically list doesn't have, just like the mathematical operations, summation, dot products, divisions, and so on. Okay, vectorization can also be performed by using the NumPy arrays, which is one of the very fast and the efficient method to parallelize any routine. Okay, so that is all about the NumPy arrays. After it, we can also go towards the dictionaries, and for instead of dictionaries, we can also use another very important package of the library in the Python, and that is the pandas library. So what is basically the pandas? Pandas is basically the Excel of the Python, which has the capabilities to do all the stuff which a conventional Microsoft Excel can do. So in pandas, what you have to convert any dictionary or any Python list and so on into the data frame. and over the data frame, then we can apply many functions which will be discussed later on. Okay, so that is the pandas, and after it, here we have these user defined data structures, and for using these user defined data structures, we have to use the Python objects and classes. Okay, similarly we can also use here the scikit-learn and scipy, which are also the Python libraries. Okay, so in order to deploy these libraries, we have to install them separately by using the command which is called the pip install the library name here. Okay, or if you are using another environment, that is the Anaconda, so conda install the name of a library. So by using these functions into the terminal, what is basically the terminal? Terminal is basically the DOS environment in which you have to go into the path where the source files of the Python are installed. So in order to install the packages in that path, you have to use the pip or the conda install environments. So pip is the mostly used environment, while if you have used the Anaconda, so you can write the conda install the package here. Okay, so that is all about the problem solving packages which are used here. So these are the scikit-learn, scipy, and there are plenty of other packages which I will teach with the passage of time. Okay, similarly, in order to use all these things and problem solving, you also want to visualize the data set which you have. So in order to visualize the Python lists or Python arrays, what we use a very important package here, and that is the matplotlib. Okay, so that is the function. Similarly, seaborn is also a very important package or library in the Python, and these are used for the visualizations. Okay, so that's it for today, in which we have discussed different packages which we can use for different functionalities, and we have started it from the very basic stuff like the basic programming here, and after the basic programming we went towards the basic Python, then Python functions were used, then data structures, and data structures we had some built-in data structures and user defined data structures, and in these built-in and user defined functions we have also covered some other data structures as well. After it, we have also talked about some advanced stuff which you can learn after learning all the skills which are basically taught in this course. Okay, so that's it for today, and I hope the course will develop the mindset which is necessary for this age of artificial intelligence, machine learning, and problem solving. Okay, so the basic objective of this course was to develop the mindset which is able to solve the real world problems by using the modern computation methods, and we have started it by using the basic Python language. So thank you so much, stay tuned, and I will see you some more other courses which will be the advanced version of this course. Thank you so much, take care, and I will see you soon.